Hello everyone. So today we have chapter 3 of my book, Breathing for Confidence. The chapter heading is Posture is Pivotal. And as usual, there's a little quote. The quote for this one is, "Before breathing, posture." And this quote is by me, Angelina Kalahari. Although I'm sure there's loads of people who've said it before. Anne smiled and sat down at the piano before speaking. Right then, we'll start at the very beginning. If I tell you something you already know, I apologise in advance. But I hope you'll bear with me, as it will all make sense. Anne waited for Jake's nod before she continued. I think you'll agree that in our world, most of us are bent over a computer on a desk, or a phone or some other device, sticking our bottoms out, stooping our shoulders, hunching forwards, slumping in our seats, or cradling our phones on our shoulders are all examples of poor posture. It leads to inferior inhalation because our lungs cannot fully extend unless our body is in a straight position. The more out of balance our spine is, the harder our muscles have to work to compensate. And as you know, we use specific muscles to support our breath and voice. Singers and actors cannot afford faulty posture as we expend a great deal of energy during performance. Everyone can take their cues from us. It's a good idea, therefore, to balance our body for good alignment and allows for optimal breathing at all times. It moves us towards greater health, confidence, and a better self-image. Posture also affects how others see us and perceive us. As I'm sure you're aware. Jake nodded. Earlier, I told you that you have to see yourself already in the position you want to occupy in the world. It all starts with breathing and posture. Jake nodded again, but remained silent, intent on Anne's words. Good posture can help make you feel as though you're already in the role you've cast for yourself. Not only that, but it will persuade others too. But another reason to look to posture is that bad posture can lead to unnecessary tension and exhaustion on a daily basis. Postural alignment results in a feeling of lightness and ease of movement. I'm sure you've experienced yourself. Under Anne's scrutiny, Jake could feel himself pulling up his spine and his shoulders down and back. If Anne had noticed, she didn't say or show it, continuing instead. In obtaining proper posture, we don't want a stiff or fixed alignment, but rather a flexible and stable one. Good alignment starts with our head. If our head is misaligned, other parts of our body will move in and out of alignment to maintain balance. Jake made sure he wasn't standing at attention while he concentrated on Anne's words. But we seldom consider our posture and then wonder why we become hoarse when we speak or do not have the volume we want when we need it. Anne got up and walked towards Jake. So, what does good alignment look like? She asked if she could touch him. When he nodded, and as Anne spoke, she made tiny adjustments to Jake's body so that it moved into the correct position. She touched each part of his body as she spoke. There are 8 basic points to remember for proper alignment. 1. When our head is up and we face forward, our ears should be vertically above our shoulders midpoint. 2. Our neck muscles should be relaxed so that our head can turn easily. 3. Our chest should be elevated but not rigid, and there should be no tension anywhere. 4. Our spine should be straight, avoiding pressure on the pelvic area. The highest point of our hip bones should be in alignment with our ears and the midpoint on our shoulders. 5. Our feet should be apart with our weight slightly forward on the balls of our feet. 6. Viewed from the side, we can imagine a line running from the top of our head through our ear, through the middle point of our shoulder, through the highest point of our hip bone, through the side of our knee to the arc of our foot. 7. Be aware our knees are not locked rigidly. 8. When moving, our chest should be comfortably over but not in front of our legs and feet. This alignment should allow the natural curves of our back to be relaxed, yet ready for action while minimizing any unnecessary muscular tension. Anne stood back to contemplate her handiwork on Jake's posture. If you feel you need further help with your posture, Jake, I recommend you find a good Alexandra technique practitioner to help you. Jake nodded and maintained the position in which Anne had placed him, while concentrating on relaxing so that no tension would interfere with his breathing or voice work. Anne nodded her approval and continued. Why is posture so important, you may ask? Not only does it improve our performance, but it also helps enormously with a positive self-image. Come, try for yourself. Anne motioned for Jake to stand in front of a huge mirror that occupied the wall opposite her piano. Look what happens when you slouch. Jake followed her directions and rounded his shoulders and collapsed his chest as he slouched. What do you see? Jake looked at his image in the mirror as he responded. Someone not very confident, someone possibly wanting to hide, someone who doesn't seem very friendly, and we might be hesitant to approach for help or perhaps even friendship. Yes, I agree. Those are but a few examples. Can you see how damaging bad posture can be? Jake nodded to himself in the mirror while Anne continued her instructions. Now, stand erect. Not in a military fixed fashion, but just open and pull up your body as if someone is pulling an invisible string attached to the top of your head, like dance teachers instruct ballet dancers. Can you see the difference? Again, Jake nodded as Anne talked. Now we see someone who appears confident, open, and friendly. We don't know what we give our audience, no matter if they're one person or many, so we must use mirrors to see what we offer at first, at least. But more than the image you see in the mirror, can you feel in your body how the simple act of correcting your posture makes you feel? It might be a slight shift to begin with, but try to notice it. We are so used to ignoring our bodies. We don't eat when we're hungry, we do not sleep when we're tired, and we don't visit the loo when we need to. No wonder our body has given up on us ever hearing its needs. Jake closed his eyes to feel what Anne wanted him to experience. He smiled and nodded as Anne continued her instructions. Our entire body is our instrument. Many people think for singing or speaking, our vocal folds are all there is, but they are wrong. Our entire body works with the vocal folds to communicate our words and sounds to others. We also know that moving our body has a profound effect on our moods and emotions and the sound of our voice. Would you agree? Jake smiled and nodded. So, now let's get you ready to do some breathing, Jake. It's imperative to be relaxed before embarking on on the breathing exercises, because if there's tension anywhere in your chest, especially, your voice work will suffer. So, to let go of tension, that typically manifests at the back of your neck. Drop your head forward and slowly turn your head towards your left shoulder until you cannot move it any further. Then move your head back to your chest and continue moving towards your right shoulder until you cannot move any further. If you still feel tension in your neck, you can slowly move your head in a full circle in both directions, but be careful not to drop your head at the back of the circle. Now, lift your shoulders towards your ears and drop them. Repeat it a few times. Roll your shoulders forward a few times and then backwards, making sure each time your shoulder blades touch. This will give you a great stretch and a massage at the same time. Repeat these exercises until you feel the tension at the back of your neck and your head lessen and disappear altogether. So to recap, relax your body as much as you can before singing or speaking. We use specific muscles for supporting our breath and voice. But if any other muscles are strained, it causes unnecessary tension and has a detrimental effect on breathing and good voice production. Be aware of your posture at all times. Don't slump, and ensure your spine is straight so your lungs can fully extend. I always tell my students, once you start voice work and all it entails, it's a good idea to continue using the techniques in your daily life, and not only when you are singing or doing voice work. That way, your body won't be confused, and the habits you'll acquire will add wonderful benefits to your daily life. The 8 basic points for proper alignment is: 1. When our head is up and we face forward, our ears should be vertically above our shoulders midpoint. 2. Our neck muscles should be relaxed so that our head can turn easily. 3. Our chest should be elevated but not rigid, and there should be no tension anywhere. 4. Our spine should be straight, avoiding pressure on the pelvic area. The highest point of our hip bones should be in alignment with our ears and the midpoint on our shoulders. 5. Our feet should be apart with our weight slightly forward on the balls of our feet. 6. Viewed from the side, we can imagine a line running from the top of our head, through our ear, through the middle of the point on our shoulder, through the highest point of our hip bone, through the side of our knee, to the arc of our foot. 7. Be aware your knees are not locked rigidly. 8. When moving, our chest should be comfortably over, but not in front of our legs and feet. Do the following exercises to release tension in your neck, which is typically where most of us feel it. Drop your head forward and slowly turn your head towards your left shoulder until you cannot move it any further. Then move your head back to your chest and continue moving towards your right shoulder until you cannot move it any further. If you still feel tension in your neck, you can slowly move your head in a full circle in both directions, but be careful not to drop your head at the back of the circle like this. Okay, and then of course the other way. Now, lift your shoulders towards your ears and drop them. Repeat a few times. Roll your shoulders forward a few times and then backwards, making sure each time your shoulder blades touch. This will give you a great stretch and a massage at the same time. Repeat these exercises until you feel the tension at the back of your head and your neck lessen and disappear altogether. Thank you for watching and listening. See you next time.